Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupine Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhar Bhavatu Me Sada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Dhyanamoolam Gurormurtihi Pujamoolam Gurupadam Mantramoolam Gurorvakyam Mokshamoolam Guru Kripaha Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanooramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. My humble prostrations to the lotus feet of my Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Sadguru, Sri 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 Sai Kumar Ji. My humble namaskarams to Sri Kirtima Ji. Sai Shiva Hari Om to all of you. A very warm welcome. Today, we are entering the 9th chapter of the Gita. This 9th chapter is from the Bhakti Shatkam. The word Raja or king indicates supremacy. So, Raja Vidya means supreme knowledge, royal knowledge, and Raja Guhya means royal secret. Royal knowledge, royal secret. Therefore, it means supreme knowledge and the supreme secret. It also means that knowledge which kings in the former ages possessed and practiced. Atma Jnana, which is declared in this discourse, is the highest knowledge and the greatest secret. So this chapter is entitled Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. The knowledge of Brahma Jnana is imparted to those who are qualified to receive it. So you may ask, what are the qualifications required? In the very first sloka itself, the opening stanza of the 9th chapter starts with Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. He is talking about the qualifications. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyana suyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yaj jnatva mokshyase shubhat. Idam tu te guhyatamam. This secret knowledge, pravakshyamyana suyave, anasuyave, anasuya. Asuya means jealousy. Anasuya means those who do not have jealousy. So one who does not have jealousy. Arjuna, you are free from malice and jealousy. Therefore, I shall declare this profound secret knowledge with experience combined, which having known, you shall be freed from all evil. So, from this it is clearly understood that to attain knowledge of the Brahman, one has to clean his mind of all its impurities. Among these impurities, here Sri Krishna is signifying on, he lays emphasis on jealousy. It is the most deadliest canker. That is why Sri Krishna has specifically mentioned jealousy. Pravakshyamyana suyave. Anasuya, it is a proper noun. It is the name of females. Naming is also an art. Naming theme. You see, you name when the baby is born, you think of a name. So this naming is also an art. You name Anasuya or you name Annapurna, you name Suguna. You name Suguna. Suguna means good qualities, good character, but that female has the opposite of it. You name Annapurna, poor lady, she doesn't get a morsel of grain to eat. See, it's like that. So naming is also an art. And Anasuya, Anasuya means one who does not have jealousy, but that lady is full of jealousy. This is the way it is. So what is jealousy now? Let's get back to the subject. What is jealousy? Jealousy is a deadly canker, as we just now said it. Today, we have become puppets in the hands of selfishness. Whatever we desire or love someone, we pour out our love on people, on objects, on things. It is for our own selfish reasons, to meet our own selfish ends. This is Kali Yuga, the age of scientific inventions and discoveries. This is modern civilization, the age of nuclear weapons, the age of devastating wars, the age of merrymaking too. People are acting according to their own whims and fancies, with greed, passion, selfishness, hatred, and jealousy, which are multiplying every minute. Cruelty, dishonesty, injustice, atrocity are prevailing everywhere. In the mad race for name, fame, and power, man feels elated when he overpasses another person, when he crushes his opponent. However, it is a surprise that till today, we are not able to conquer our own inner enemies of lust, greed, anger, hatred, jealousy. What is jealousy? It is petty-mindedness, a narrow feeling, a hatred towards equals, people who are in parallel with you, or feel resentful when the opposite person is in a better position than us. We are not able to tolerate. All disputes and disharmony between people, between communities, nations, is due to the evil quality of jealousy. We know about Duryodhana's intense jealousy on the Pandavas. It was jealousy that completely destroyed the Kaurava clan. People who entertain jealousy are neither happy nor do they allow others to live in happiness. Eventually, they ruin their own lives. Once, there lived in a village two young ladies by names Anasuya and Suguna. They had all the opposite qualities in them, not in compliance with their names. Anasuya was full of jealousy. Even Suguna means good character. She also had all the vices in her. They hailed from well-to-do families, and God blessed them with everything they wanted. Anasuya lived with her family in the northern part of the village, while Suguna's house was situated in the south. They were like poles apart, North Pole and South Pole. They could not tolerate each other. Both of them were seized by hatred and jealousy for each other, and they gave vent to their feelings without losing a single opportunity. Even the village folk were divided into two groups. One group supported Anasuya, the other group supported Suguna. Neither of the two could bear to see each other's welfare and prosperity. When, supposing Anasuya undertook any charitable work, Suguna made it a point to do double that charity. It was a competition like. One fine day, a pseudo sannyasi entered the village donning the garb of a sannyasi, an ochre robe. He wore an ochre robe and entered the village, posing himself to be a true sannyasi. His business was to deceive the innocent people with the evil powers he possessed and earn huge amounts of money. Having come to know about the arrival of the sannyasi, Anasuya immediately went and met him. She said, "Oh Mahatma," she thought him to be a real sannyasi, "bless me with such a mantra that I have an edge over my enemy Suguna and gain an upper hand in everything she does." The pseudo sannyasi thought it to be a fine opportunity to make money. So he said, "Okay, I will initiate you with a mantra." And he demanded, as Guru Dakshina, he demanded 5 cows, 5 quintals of rice, and 5 grams of gold. Anasuya agreed because she was very wealthy, very rich. She could afford anything. She agreed. So the sannyasi said, "Come and meet me tomorrow morning at sunrise." The pseudo sannyasi the next day initiated her with an evil mantra pertaining to the Brahma Rakshasa, stating that all her wishes would be fulfilled if she chanted the mantra 11,000 times. Anasuya came home happily and informed about it to her henpecked husband and said, "I'm very much interested to do sadhana, so I'm going to the east and doing japa there." Husband agreed. She went to the east in the village, in the corner of the village, went to the east. There was a huge tamarind tree. She sat under the canopy of the tamarind tree and started doing her japa. Coming to know of Anasuya's penance, Suguna lost no time in confronting the pseudo sannyasi. She went and begged him to initiate her with a mantra, powerful mantra, to destroy her enemy. Understanding the bitter rivalry between the two ladies, this pseudo sannyasi thought, "This is the best opportunity for me to make money." So he says, "I will give you a very powerful mantra. I will initiate you with a very powerful mantra, and in return," he demanded, "in return, you should give me double what Anasuya had given me." She readily agreed. What was that? Instead of 5 cows, 10 cows, 10 quintals of rice, and 10 grams of gold. Suguna was quite smart. She struck a deal with the sannyasi. She said, "Okay, I will give you all this, double what Anasuya had given. But see, the power of the mantra also should be doubled. It should be more than that of Anasuya's." Suguna offered whatever he asked for, and she started her japa. She went to the opposite direction. If she was to the east, she went to the west. There was a huge bubble tree there. She sat under the bubble tree and started her japa. But it was Suguna who completed her japa before Anasuya could. Actually, it was almost the same time both completed the japa. As soon as Suguna completed her japa, a Brahma Rakshasi appeared before her, a frightful apparition hovering over her. First, Suguna got scared to see that frightful figure. Then afterwards, gaining courage, she spoke. That Brahma Rakshasi asked, "Ask any boon, it shall be granted." Gaining courage, Suguna said, "First let me know what Anasuya has asked for. First go and ask my enemy. Whatever Anasuya asks, I want double that. Whatever she asks, double that I want as a reward. So the Brahma Rakshasi goes to Anasuya. By that time, she also completes her japa. Then Anasuya, see, both of them were so much with jealousy. Anasuya's mind is on Suguna. She asked, what did Suguna ask? Tell me what boon she asked for. Then the Brahma Rakshasi tells what Suguna said. Suguna told me to go to you, and whatever you ask for, she wants double that. So the Brahma Rakshasi, after informing, Anasuya thinks, this is the right time. The time has come. Now I can put an end to her. She said, okay, fine. Remove one of my eyes, she says. See, this is what she wishes for. Remove one of my eyes. The moment she says, she loses one eye. And immediately the Brahma Rakshasi disappears from there, goes to Suguna and removes both her eyes. What happened with jealousy? One lost one eye, the other lost two eyes. Suguna became totally blind. This is the outcome of jealousy. Jealousy is like a blazing fire. It destroys all goodness just as fire consumes fuel. Sadhguruji says, a scorpion and a lizard have poison in their tails. A snake has poison in its fangs. A mosquito has poison in its saliva. But a jealous person has poison spread all over his body and mind. This is what our Sadhguruji says. This is so frightening, jealousy. Your whole life will be destroyed with jealousy. So here, Sri Krishna is saying that to receive the knowledge of Brahman, one should be pure in heart without any flaws and possess the 4 qualifications mentioned in the Shastras. To receive Brahmajnana, you should be free from all evil qualities, evil tendencies. Moreover, you should have the 4 types of knowledge, the 4 types of sadhana you should practice, which the Shastras are prescribing. What is that? It is known as sadhana chatushtaya. Chatushtaya means 4 types. And what is that? Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampati, and Mumukshatva. What is Viveka? Viveka is grossly translated as discrimination. Viveka is understanding or observation that everything is changing. Whatever you consider as stationary or solid is not stationary or solid, but it is changing. It is subject to change. A thorough understanding of this is called Viveka. Everything is changing. Our body is changing. Every minute, new cells are born. Old cells are dying. Every time you breathe out and in, the old energy goes out and new energy enters the body. Our body is a bundle of atoms, and every minute, these atoms are disintegrated. They are changing. See the whole universe. Everything is changing. Our thoughts are changing. Our emotions are changing. You are not the same person that you were yesterday, and you'll not be the same person tomorrow. You cannot maintain the same degree of sadness every day, all the time. It keeps on fluctuating. If you are unhappy for different reasons, different days. You can never be unhappy for the same reason all through. Same way, joy also. Your moods, your emotions, your feelings, everything is changing. But there is something that is different from this, that is not changing. This discrimination between something that is not changing and everything else that is changing is viveka, the discrimination. Got it? Now, second is vairagya. What is vairagya? The gross meaning is dispassion. Behind every misery, there is a hope. The fuel for miserable people is hope. There is a deep desire of some joy. You have a hope. Perhaps if I change my job, I'll be happier. Perhaps, see, perhaps there is the hope. Perhaps if I get transferred to another town, I'll be happy. Perhaps if I change my business partner, I'll be more comfortable. People who are single think, if I am married, I'll be happy. And people who are married think, when I was single, I was alone to myself, I was very happy. I was all by myself. I was better off then. People who have no children think, if I get a child, I'll be happy. But people who have children think, when my son grows big and when he is able to stand on his feet, I'll be happy. So in this way, we are foreseeing happiness somewhere in the future. We are foreseeing happiness somewhere in the future. We are not happy now. We are foreseeing happiness somewhere in the future. And this way, we become ourselves miserable. We make our lives miserable. The whole world is full of pleasure. For whom? For the five sense organs. For the five senses, the world is nothing but full of pleasure. Pleasure only tires you. You look at something, but now, how long? You have to close your eyelids. You look at something, you have to blink, you have to close your eyelids. You like perfume. But can you stuff your nose in it? Can you stuff your nose with perfume? No. You like ice creams. How many scoops of ice cream will you have? How much food has gone through this mouth? The sense of touch. You like the sense of touch. Till how long you keep on touching? How long can you go on touching? The whole world is full of pleasure for the five senses. It doesn't elevate you to great heights. It takes away the passion in you. Therefore, this passion towards enjoyment of this world is vairagya. You know all the passions. So this passion towards all those is vairagya. Now next is Shat Sampati. What is Shat Sampati? Means 6 types of wealth. Sampati means wealth. Shat means 6. 6 types of wealth. So first is Shama. What is Shama? When the mind wants to do too many things, it is scattered. The mind gets diversified. You become more alert. Then what you do? You control the mind when it is scattered. That is Shama. Next is Dama. Means having a say on your own senses. Many times you don't know what to say and you say many things. You don't want to say, but you say many things. Many times you don't want to see, but you see. Supposing you are traveling in an aeroplane, the movie is going on. You don't want to see it. You look at the movie and say, rubbish, stupid movie. I will not see it. And you turn your head away, you close your eyes. Again, after a few moments, you turn your head, you open your eyes, look at the movie. 2 or 3 times, you try closing your eyes, but again you look at the movie. And lastly, you slowly pick the headphones and you put the headphone and listen to the dialogues. You didn't want to see, but you see, but you saw. They don't drag you. The senses don't drag you, but you get carried away by them. You say yes or no, but it is not you that is saying yes or no. It is the senses. So Dhamma means restraining the senses. Shama is controlling the mind. Dhamma is restraining the senses from its object. Titiksha, third is titiksha. What is titiksha? It is endurance or forbearance. When our opposite things happen in your life, when something opposite is going on in your life, which you don't like, which is something negative, you should not be completely shaken or shattered. That is forbearance. In life, so many things happen. Some pleasant moments come, some unpleasant moments come. Nothing stays forever. Health comes, sickness comes, moods come and go. Somebody's business goes in a loss. Again, there is profit. Even people come and go in life. Friends come and go. Enemies come and go. Not getting completely shattered and scattered is titiksha. Whatever is unpleasant will be pleasant tomorrow. Just understand this and don't get carried away by them. This is titiksha. A game is a game where you lose or you win. Both are part of it. The game has value when it is tough. So all the problems that you face in life is a part of the whole game. It is not going to shake me at all. You must think in that terms. It is not going to shake me. Just turn back and look at all the troubles you had undergone. In spite of it all, you are still complete. You are normal. They cannot destroy you. You are much more powerful than them. Understanding that all pleasurable and non-pleasurable things cannot do anything to you, the forbearance that rises in you is the third wealth, titiksha. Next, fourth is uparati. Uparati means to be in your own nature, rejoicing in it, being in the joy that you are rejoicing in anything that you do is uparati. You're always rejoicing, no matter, come what may, but you're rejoicing. That is uparati. Then fifth is shraddha. Shraddha means faith. Faith is needed when your knowing has found its limits. When you have found the limits of your knowing, you know this far, that is your limit, and you do not know anything beyond that. Then your willingness to know that unknown is shraddha. Faith in the self, faith in the master, faith in the divine, faith in the infinite order of things, faith in the love of infinity. This is shraddha. No activity in the world can happen without the element of faith. You have faith in your bank, so you put your money in your bank. You have faith in the coach. That's why you get into the waters to learn swimming. You have faith in the law and order of your government. That is why you park your car somewhere and go. You have faith in the airlines. That is why you sit relaxed in the aeroplane. The entire world works on faith. That is why you are given credit card banking system. Faith is a beautiful quality of your consciousness. It is a beautiful blossoming of your being. Then comes samadhana. Samadhana, being at ease. How do you feel when you are at ease? Serene, calm, poised, being at ease with yourself, your environment, people around you. Then comes, that is Shat Sampati over. Now the last out of the sadhana chatushtaya is mumukshatva. Mumukshatva is desire for the highest, for freedom, for enlightenment. A burning desire, a longing in you for the divine, a longing for infinity, a longing to be a part and parcel of the whole. This potentiality in you cannot be uncovered. So this is sadhana chatushtaya, which Sri Krishna is asking an aspirant to develop if you really want to know the secret of Brahmajnana, Rajavidya, which is Rajaguhya, royal knowledge, royal secret. Then moving on, Sri Krishna talks about Kshine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti. Kshine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti, meaning once your karmic account of punya gets over, you again come back to the bhuloka, to the earth, to the planet earth. According to one's karmic account of punya, the jiva ascends to heaven and enjoys its pleasures. Once it is over, the jiva has to return to earth. Such is the fate of men yielding to desire. Once the fruit of punya is exhausted, they fall back again onto this earth. So many people are under the misconception that if we do punya karya, that if you do meritorious deeds, that is enough in a whole lifetime to reach God. No, along with meritorious deeds, you have to undergo sadhana also. Without self-effort, only meritorious deeds won't work. Got it? Once all the devatas got together and they came to a decision that to send Ramba down to Earth planet to test Shuka Maharshi's state of celibacy. He was a pure celibate. He was purity in everything. So they wanted to test his celibacy. They sent Ramba to disturb him in his penance, and they wanted to see how far she can succeed. Ramba comes down to the earth. Shuka Maharshi is in a deep state of meditation in the jungle. Ramba stands before him and says, "Hey Maharshi, accept me as your partner. I have come all the way from heaven only to possess you. If you accept me as your partner, I will take you to heaven." Why do people in this bhuloka do so many meritorious deeds? Only for the sake of heaven, to enjoy the pleasures of heaven. See, without any effort of yours, I'm here standing before you to take you to heaven. Just accept me as your partner. Embrace me. Shuka Maharshi doesn't say a word. He opens his eyes slowly. He gives a broad smile and says, "I'm not interested to come to heaven. Why should I come to heaven? No, I'm not interested. Please go away from here." She still insists, "No, Maharshi, please accept me. I have come all the way from heaven only to possess you. See, I'm not like an ordinary woman." And with her powers, she cuts open her stomach, and from her, see, there is no blood oozing out. There is no pus. There is no stench coming out of my stomach. I'm not an ordinary human being. I belong to the group of devatas. Please accept me. There's only fragrance everywhere. I don't perspire also. I'm not an ordinary woman. Please accept me. Then Shuka Maharshi says, 𝘕𝘩𝑒 𝘕𝑚𝑒 𝘕𝑚𝑒 𝘚𝑒 What is the use of coming to heaven? After the period of my punya is over, once it expires, just like a visa expires, and you have to come back all the way from US to India, you get a visa for 6 months period. And before that 6 months gets exhausted, you have to be back in your own motherland. I have to come back from Vaikuntha, from Swargaloka to Bhuloka. So I'm not interested. Again, I have to undergo all the sufferings and pangs of this Bhuloka. I don't want that. I want to merge myself in the Paramatma, in the Supreme Consciousness. So I'm not interested to come with you to Swargaloka. So please go away from you. I pray to God, if at all I have another birth to take, I pray to God to bless me to have you as my mother, so I may be born in your stomach. The moment he says mother, she gets a shock of her life, Rambha. She thinks, I've come to the wrong person. I've defeated. She just bows down to him and says, excuse me, forgive me. The Devatas have sent me all the way to test your celibacy. I have not come on my own accord. She gets so scared of Shukra Maharshi then. It was then that the Devatas showered flowers from the heavenly skies on Shukra Maharshi. So that is the state of Shukra Maharshi. So ksheene punye martyalokam vishanti. Once the period of your meritorious deeds gets over, you will again fall back to Bhuloka. So along with meritorious deeds, it is said in the Gita that you have to undergo your own sadhana. You have to put in self-effort and do rigorous sadhana if at all you want to reach God, you want to merge in the Supreme Consciousness. Human life is the only opportunity for self-realization. All other worlds are worlds of enjoyment, good or bad. This earth, Bhuloka, is the world of jnana and karma. That is why, as Guruji says, as is the karma bhumi, jnana bhumi, punya bhumi. Again, moving further on, Sri Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Of those men who worship me alone, thinking of no other, ever united with me, I carry their yoga. That is, I secure things they do not have, they do not possess, and kshema, preserve what they possess. So this is one of the most important stanzas in the Bhagavad Gita. This is the Lord's promise of protection for the devotee. He takes upon himself the responsibility of the devotee who is ever united with him. Arjuna gave away the reins of his chariot into the hands of Sri Krishna. He just gave away the reins. He surrendered. What did he say? Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple. I take refuge at your feet. Accept me, hold my hand, and guide me. One should surrender himself to the Lord, and the result of such surrender is the protection of the Lord under all circumstances. This is the meaning of the sloka. You see, God's grace is like the wind and sunlight. Without distinction of caste or creed, age or gender, religion, nothing. His grace pervades all. Whatever little sadhana one does sincerely is protected and strengthened by the Lord. Again, moving further, he says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahrutamashnaami prayatatmanaha. Whoever offers me with devotion a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or water, that I accept of the pure-minded man offered with devotion. We know about Draupadi and Vidura, how they offered a leaf. When Krishna went to Vidura's chamber for partaking his meals, Duryodhana invited him to his chamber, but Sri Krishna refused and went to Vidura's chamber. Why? Because Vidura was full of intense devotion and love for Krishna. So while offering food to him, Vidura was so engrossed in Krishna's thoughts, his mind was totally fixed on his image, that instead he was peeling the banana, instead of giving the fruit to Krishna, he gave the skin, and Krishna accepted that and ate to his heart's content. That is the Lord. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Gajendra offered a flower. You know the Gajendra Moksham in the Bhagavatam, when he was in peril, when the crocodile was pulling him into the waters with all its strength, Gajendra was helpless and shouts for help. He calls the Lord and he plucks a lotus from the pond and offers it to the Lord. Shabari offered a fruit. Here, many people are under the misconception that Shabari offered soiled fruits to the Lord, that she ate, she tasted and gave. No, in the Valmiki Ramayana, it is not like that. It is not soiled fruit in the sense she did not bite with her mouth and taste it. Soiled in the sense she smelled the fruit. She smelled the fruit whether it was ripe or sweet. Even with when you smell a fruit, you can make out with the smell whether it is sweet or not. So Shabari smelled the fruit. Smelling is also soiling, because when you're offering it to anything to the Lord, you should not smell it. So that is why they say soiled fruit. She did not eat. Remember that she did not eat. She smelled it. So Shabari offered the smell fruit and the Lord accepted it. Ranti Deva offered water when Brahma came in the form of a beggar, and the Lord accepted and blessed him. With their purity and devotion, these great devotees attained the Lord by simple offerings. Hence, any simple offering given with purity and devotion pleases the Lord. The devotion of greatness is explained further. Api chetsu duracharo bhajate mamananyabhag sadhu reva samantavyaha 𝘠𝘩𝘓𝑚𝑦𝑎 हि सः. Even if the most sinful person worships me with undivided heart, Sri Krishna is saying, even if the most sinful person worships me, the most sinful person with undivided heart, he should be regarded righteous, for he has rightly resolved indeed. Though the most wicked of men, if he takes refuge in the Lord with faith and devotion, striving to give up his wickedness, he should be regarded as righteous and holy person. In a place called Lohadandapura in Maharashtra, a pious Brahmin couple lived with their only son Pundalika. He was very cruel, full of vices, and ill-treated his parents. While he was still a youth, the parents got him married to a virtuous girl, thinking that his bad habits will change. However, he did not, even after marriage, he did not get rid of his bad habits. The ill treatment meted out to his parents continued. He spent all his father's money in fulfilling his sensual pleasures and at last turned into a pauper. One day, accompanied by his wife, he went on a pilgrimage to Kasi. In midway, they happened to reach Kukuta Mahamuni's ashram. As they came near the ashram, it was the time of dawn. The sun was just about to rise. Pundalika spotted three beautiful young ladies clad in white clothes with long overflowing hair. They were sweeping the premises of the hermitage with their long tresses of hair. They used their long tresses of hair as a broomstick and sweeping the ground. In spite of all that he had gone through, Pundalika, his womanizing habits did not go in vain. His mind continued to remain as corrupt as ever. He approached the ladies and reached out to touch one of them. She immediately turned black, that lady. He left her and tried to touch another lady. She too turned black. Then, outraged, that lady exclaimed, "You crook, do you know who we are? We are the rivers, Mother Ganga, Mother Yamuna, Mother Saraswati. When people come and bathe in our waters, they get rid of all their sins, and that sin clings to us and we become dirty. As a consequence, we turn dark. In order to cleanse ourselves of those sins, we come to this Maharishi's ashram and clean the premises. We do a little seva, and with that, we are purified. We become pure and go back again. As you have touched us, we have lost the merits we have earned through this service. It is not fair on your part to do like this. Get away from our way." However, Pundalika did not pay any heed to their words and started to chase them. As a result, both his legs got paralyzed. He was unable to walk. He was placed in a helpless situation and he could do nothing but just drag himself. By the time Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati left the place, Pundalika could do nothing but just drag himself and enter the Mahatma's hermitage. As he entered, he saw the Mahatma in service. He was rendering his service to his aged parents who were sleeping there. He witnessed the sage pressing his father's legs. So Pundalika dragged himself, went and caught hold of Kukuta Mahamuni's feet and said, "Mahatma, all these years I have sinned. Now I am repenting. Please pardon me for all my cruel mistakes and redeem me from this punishment." The sage replied, "I can't do anything. Go back to your parents. Ask them to forgive you and you start serving your parents. You will attain liberation." Abiding by the sage's instructions, Pundalika returned home and started serving his parents. The dedicated service he offered to his parents pleased Sri Mahavishnu. One day, while Pundalika was busy rendering his loving services to his parents, the Lord appeared at his doorstep and said, "Pundalika, come to me. I've come here all the way only to take you with me." At that time, Pundalika was pressing his parents' legs. They were sleeping. So Pundalika said, "Shh, don't disturb me. I am pressing my father's legs. Let them fall off to sleep. When they go to sleep, I will finish my service. Then I'll come to you." Then as the sun was blazing high in the sky, Pundalika, what he did, there was a brick nearby where he was sitting. There was a brick there. He took the brick and slowly passed it on. He pushed it to where the Lord was standing. He said, "Stand on this brick. The sun is blazing. stand on this brick till I come. So, bound by the cord of love and bhakti, the Supreme Lord obeyed his devotees' words, Pundalika's words, and stood on that brick. And till today, he is standing on the brick with his two hands resting on his waist. His two hands are like this on his waist. That is what we call Panduranga temple in Pandharpur. So now people in Kali Yuga are worshipping him. After standing on the brick, he merged Pundalika's Atma into his own self. That is, the Jivatma merged in the Paramatma. Then till today, the Lord is standing in Pandharpur as Lord Vithala. What is the meaning of Vithala in Marathi language? Vit means brick. Thal means to stand. Vithala means one who stood on the brick. That is Vithala. So till today in Pandharpur, you see, you have the darshan of Panduranga Vithala. All the negativity that clings to man in the state of ignorance is cleared off by right decision, determination, and right action, as Pundalika did. Sri Krishna says, my devotee will never suffer destruction. See, you take heaps of wood. Heaps of wood is a room full of wood. But you can just burn it to ashes with the small flame of a matchstick. The way to reach Paramatma is clearly stated here. The seeker should divert all his activities towards that one supreme goal. He should worship the Lord in thought, word, and deed, like how we have discussed in Sadhana Chatushtaya. He should remember the Lord, be devoted to him, offer selfless service, and worship him with absolute faith and humility. Now, as ordinary human beings, it is our duty to contemplate and question ourselves. Where is my mind wandering? Is it on the ephemeral objects and pleasures of the world? Am I getting diverted there? Or is it on the supreme consciousness? Or on both, in the world and in the supreme? You can't sail in two boats, remember that. Am I drawn to name and fame? Or am I drawn towards the Paramatma? Am I a slave to my senses? Or do they obey my command? We have to reflect on these questions. Then we will know where we are standing, where our place is in today's world. A temple without an idol is futile. You can't call it a temple if it has no idol or a photo. A school without a teacher is futile. Hoarding wealth without rendering charity is futile. A tongue that does not utter the divine name is futile. So remember, living in the world, hands in society, head in the forest. Be in the world, but not of the world. Don't be like the tissue paper, sucking, absorbing all the water. Be like the water drop on the lotus leaf. Okay. Now we'll end this session with the repetition of the slokas. First, we'll start with the Dhyana Shloka number 9. Loke sajjana षट्पदैरहरः
Loke sajjana षट्पदैरहरः Loke sajjana षट्पदैरहरः लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः
पेपीयमानं मुदा
पेपीयमानं मुदा पेपीयमानं मुदा पेपीयमानं मुदा
भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल
भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल
प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे
प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे लोके सज्जन
लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा
लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा
भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे
भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे.
Now ninth shloka. अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो
भजते मामनन्यभाक्
भजते मामनन्यभाक् भजते मामनन्यभाक् भजते मामनन्यभाक्
साधुरेव समन्तव्यः
साधुरेव समन्तव्यः साधुरेव समन्तव्यः साधुरेव समन्तव्यः
सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः
सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक्
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक्
साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः
साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः.
Now we'll repeat from the Dhyana Shloka number 1, Parthaya.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधिर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महते वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहने कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिने सोतीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैः कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्धगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारत पंकजं कलिमला प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद् भगवद गीता धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय। अर्जुन उवाच न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा। श्रीभगवानुवाच जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायोष्य कर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते। असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते। दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते। अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कळेबरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः। अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः।
Now we'll end this session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Thank you all for joining this session. Hari Om.